So instead of what that means is that instead of planning for 6 months, maybe you're building a project, you're planning that project for 6 months. In agile development, they're basically saying that you don't plan for 6 months, just you plan for 1 week. It's in cycles. So in 1 week, you build a functional product, you ship it out, you get feedback, then you now iterate. You get the feedback, then you make the changes that you need to make. So that's just what that means. So you work in repeated cycles, 1 to 4 weeks. It doesn't really matter which company. Different companies work differently. Sometimes one, sometimes four. So now the agile methodology is just a methodology. They're under different umbrellas. Okay. Now different frameworks under the agile umbrella. So we have Scrum, Kanban, feature-driven development, DSM, DSDM, all of them. They're all agile, but they all function in different ways. So let's look at the agile principles and mindset. So agile is built on something we call the Agile Manifesto. Back in 2001, 17 software developers, they worked together on 17 software developers, they came in and they made this Agile Manifesto. They said, according to them, that they are uncovering better ways of developing software. And they now laid out four values for agile development or the methodology. Now, these four values, let's look at it here in this image. So these four values, they lead it out for us. We have individuals and interactions over processes and tools. So what this meaning is just you focus on people working together, not on just following the strict procedures. You're working on software over comprehensive documentation. You need documentation, obviously. We all need documentations, but the priority for agile is you're delivering something that works quick and immediately. Customer collaboration over contract negotiation. So that one is instead of agreeing on everything up front and then you disappear for months to go and figure out how to make that project, you're working with customers throughout the entire process. Responding to change over a plan, over responding to change over following a plan.
Hello, please. I'm very sorry for interrupting. The volume is
Yes.
very, very low from my end there. I don't know. Please help us to check what's going on.
Okay.
Maybe you should check the volume of your phone. I can actually hear you clearly.
Sorry, please. I can't. I don't know if you are saying anything. I can't hear you.
Also can't hear you.
What about now?
Yes, yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Okay. Let me reiterate this slide again. Okay. So again, the agile principles and mindsets. Back in 2001, 17 developers, they came together and they created the Agile Manifesto. According to them, in this image, they said they are uncovering better ways of developing software by doing it and helping others to do it. So these are the values that they laid out for us here. So we have the individuals and interaction over processes and tools. This means that you focus on the people working together, not on just following a strict procedure. Then you now have a working software over comprehensive documentation. Everyone needs you need documentation. We all know that. We all need documentation. But the priority of Agile in the Agile Manifesto is delivering something that actually works, that is functional already from the get-go. So we have customer collaboration over contract negotiation. So instead of agreeing on everything upfront and disappearing for months, 6 months, you're working with the customer throughout the entire process. You work with customer, immediately makes a change, you build something, you work with customers. So we now have a responding to change over following a plan. So that one means when a requirement changes or you learn something new, you're adapting. You're not just sticking to a rigid plan that you had for months on end. And this is the key thing about this. So it's not that on the right side, because we're seeing it individuals and interaction over processing and tool. It's not that everything on the right, the values on the right are bad. They are not bad. They have its time, they have its place, and they have its use case in the world. But if you're going to be following the agile mindset, the agile way of doing things, which is shipping products quick, fast, immediately, the one on the left is the most important one that you're going to be using, that you should follow. Now, let's look at the agile methodologies. Remember, I said earlier that agile itself is a mindset, is a way of doing things, a mindset and a set of principles. And there are multiple frameworks that fall under the agile. All of them are still agile, but they have their own different ways. There is Scrum, Kanban, Extreme Programming, all others. But the most popular one is Scrum, and we are going to talk about that Scrum. Okay, so how does Scrum work? So Scrum is a powerful agile framework that helps teams deliver value iteratively and incrementally. It emphasizes collaboration, flexibility, and continuous improvement, making it ideal for complex projects. Yes, let me just reiterate that. Let me just say that again. It is an agile framework. It helps teams deliver value iteratively and incrementally. Remember, we talked about cycles, how agile is all about cycles, 1 or 2 weeks, 1 to 4 weeks, you develop something, you make something, you ship it out there, you get your feedback. If there is any change you need, you spend another 1 to 4 weeks. Now that cycle on this image, we call it in the agile world, we call that sprints. It's a terminology that you're going to be hearing if you're in the agile world. So what is a sprint? It's a short time boxed cycle. So typically 1 to 4 weeks where a team works to complete a specific set of deliverables. So each sprint results in a potentially shippable product increment. That's very important. So each sprint is basically you're shipping out an MVP. An MVP means a minimum viable product, the most minimum that you can get easy and quick, very quickly into the market. So we now have a product backlog. So with product backlog, you start with the product. So first thing you do, product backlog is a dynamic prioritized list of all features, enhancements, bug fixes for the product. Is maintained by the product owner and evolves throughout the project. So I'll just explain briefly what that means. So what all this is just talking about is that you have in Agile, in Scrum specifically, there's a product owner. The entire job of the product owner is just to list out all the features, enhancement, bug fix, everything for the first cycle, basically, and is maintained. So he's just going to be working with the developers on this, saying that, okay, work on this feature, enhance this, and fix that. Then we have the daily stand-up. So during a sprint, the team has daily stand-up. So there's a brief meeting, there's a brief 15-minute meeting where everyone synchronizes on what they're going to be doing and if they're having any backlog, any blockers. This is something we already do at Beacom. So we're all familiar with daily stand-ups. You will now have the sprint review. The team demonstrates completed work to the stakeholders, gathers feedback, and then they adapt the backlog as needed. So of course, remember a sprint is already shipping out a product, the most minimum viable product. So after a sprint, you're already talking to the stakeholders that here is your product, here is what you have. They give you that feedback, you go back to the next sprint. So and then the sprint retrospective. So the team reflects on what went well, what didn't. They plan improvement for the next sprint. Is a continuous learning and adaptation process. The cycle repeats over and over again until you have a fully functional product. So let's look at Agile in action. Now, there are many companies that make use of the Agile mindset, the manifesto, the principles. Netflix, Spotify, yes, there is the FBI project, Sentinel, transformation. They all use Agile. Not all of them as Scrum. They all use it in their own different way entirely. So when you look at Spotify, rapid feature delivery, they organize team into squads, squads and tribes to ship new features weekly, fostering innovation and speed. Netflix, they use the agile principles to rapidly test, deploy, and iterate on updates and maintaining a competitive edge in streaming. Then FBI, they switched to Agile for the Sentinel project, saving $30 million and delivering critical systems faster than any traditional method. Again, the key benefits of Agile is the faster time to market, improved product quality, higher team satisfaction, and enhanced adaptability. So you need to always understand because you're testing continuously. You're not testing at the end. You're not just testing at the end of the product. So at each cycle, you ship it out. Just always remember when it comes to Agile, at each cycle, each sprint, let's use the right word. At each sprint, you deliver an MVP, you ship it out, you get your feedback, you make the required changes, or maybe you've learned something new, and then you rinse and repeat. It's very simple. And as you can see by the FBI Sentinel, it has literally saved them $30 million. So it has this place in the market. So key takeaways for Agile entirely. Again, it is a flexible, iterative approach that values people, collaboration, and adaptability. It's built on the Agile's four core manifestos that we talked about. Scrum is the most popular Agile framework. It works in short sprints with continuous feedback and is used successfully by leading companies to deliver faster and better products in general. So just to wrap it up, this is just the entirety of the introduction to Agile methodology. It's kept very simple, basic. So just to introduce everyone here on this methodology of building a product or making a product in the markets. So that concludes my presentation. Do I have any? Do I have any questions? Do you have any question? Okay. So in the absence of no questions, I am going to ask. I will just ask one out there. I prepared some. Give me a second. Okay. So the question is, in Agile, what's the most important thing? It's just a general question of Agile. So what's the most important thing? What matters the most in Agile?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I think the most important thing in Agile is to deliver value to customers. It should be early, it should be continuous, and it should be reliable.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that's precisely what it is. What's your name?
Israel.
Okay, thank you very much, Ugo. That's exactly the whole point of Agile. So thank you. Let's see. So that's honestly the only question that I have for Agile. I believe we all understand it. Again, if you have any questions, you can ask. If none, I believe there is still time on the clock, so there is still time for questions if you want to.
So my question is Agile a database? Do they store customers' information since they help to deliver value to customers? Is a database.
Sorry, did you say is it a database?
Yes.
Agile is not a database. Can I ask the question again? I'm not sure I really understand what you mean by is it a database?
So I understand that database is just like a software that is used. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
That is used in storing information of data, like Microsoft Access. It's just like one of the database we mostly use.
Okay.
So and if Agile is a database,
Okay,
since
no.
it
I
delivers
understand.
values to customers.
Okay. You're right that yes, it delivers value to customer, but it is not a database. That's completely different. It's a methodology. A methodology is just is a system. Okay, it's just a system when it comes to building a product. You want to build a software, a website, or anything else, or a product, you want to ship it out. It's just a set of principles that you're supposed to, that a team follows in order to deliver that product. A database is just a tool for storing information. So, but Agile, you always think about it that, okay, it's a principle where we need to want to work within like 2 weeks, deliver the product, get feedback, work another 2 weeks, deliver the product, get feedback. So do you understand me?
All right. Are you saying it's an algorithm then?
No, it's a system, it's a principle, it's just a value, practices. like let me see. Okay. Let me see value. Let me use this word. Formation. Let me use that word. So the principles are just okay. This is how we're supposed to build this product. You could say it's an algorithm if you want to. I understand the whole algorithm, like step by step. This is what you're supposed to do. So in a way, I could agree with you that it's an algorithm, I guess. Palikis, I can see your hand up. You want to ask a question?
Yeah, good morning and well done, Seth.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to contribute to what you were actually saying, trying to explain what Agile is. Okay, so Israel, as Seth have explained, Agile is just like a framework and principles, as he explained, that you follow to make sure that a product or a project is being delivered, okay, and in a timely way. It's not a database that stores information. No, it is not. But what are the steps you take to make sure that this project is being delivered in a timely manner compared to like, okay, we are building a house. Okay, we have to wait for a year to make sure that this building is complete. But Agile will like, okay, this week we are making foundation. Okay, let's do it this way. Okay, we are building the foundation of this house this week. Okay, next week we want to raise the house up. So it's just like a step-by-step framework, a step-by-step process that you make sure that a project is being delivered. It's not as if it's a database or is a software that solves something, just a process and framework that you apply to ensure a product is being delivered in a timely manner. Hope that helps. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. At least you really helped in explaining it easier, very well. For me to understand. Your input was valued. Okay. So I think time is almost up. So if there are any more questions, you can ask or throw out here. If not, I believe that ends my presentation on the introduction to the Agile methodology. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much, Seth. So if we have any question for Seth, let's bring it. We still have a few more minutes to round up.
Okay. Let me just ask something out here since no one has a question. We're almost done. Can anyone just think of a way, any products are going to be building where Agile will not be needed, will be a disadvantage? Where it would be a bad idea to use Agile, it's better to use the traditional method of planning everything from start to finish and then spending one full year building the products before you now ship it out and get feedback. So if you can get that. Okay. If not, I'll just explain. I'll just answer that question that I posed right now. So for that question, when you think about Agile, the whole point is to ship. It'll be projects that have a timeline. Yes, projects that have a timeline. If it has a timeline, wouldn't that mean you need to ship it out fast? It's not a disadvantage. That means agile, it's advantageous to use agile here if the project has a timeline. Now I'll just give you for projects where you don't need to use agile, but you need to use the traditional method of planning everything. You need to that's when you're dealing with projects with very strict regulations, like in healthcare. Now, any healthcare system that you're building, sure, being able to ship anything out very quickly in 4 weeks is great. But the reason why it's a disadvantage, because you have to be very precise when you're building a healthcare system or a software or a healthcare product. You have to be very precise because you're dealing with human life. And also, once you're dealing with human life, there's a lot of plan. You basically have to plan everything from start to finish. So you can't just build you can't just build one product, ship it out, and have people test it. You'll be giving doctors wrong values and numbers. You just end up risking human life. So that's a disadvantage. So when it comes to like building a healthcare product or healthcare system, you do not use agile. You use the traditional method where you plan everything from start to finish, the waterfall method. So if you want to be planned, so any system that has to do with critical information, agile does not work for it because you have to be precise. But if it's something quick and easy like your social media, because social media, you're not dealing with human life or anything. You're not dealing, so you can just ship that one out. Yes, Joseph, you have a question. Can I ask?
Well, it's not really a question, it's like a contribution, kind of.
Okay.
So you said um hospital management system or healthcare management system, right?
Yes.
So okay, something like payroll management system also can is also an example.
Exactly.
Okay. Something that is really, really critical with data and not feedback.
Exactly. Yes, that is critical with data and not feedback. Because we have to be precise about the data. You can't be having wrong information because in Agile, you're building things quickly. You might end up missing some important information and you just ship it out there. You can't do that with Agile. For systems for any kind of system or product that you're building that doesn't need Agile, that does not need all this critical data, that's where you can use it. I gave an example. Basically, Facebook is an example. Social media, any kind of social media, you don't really need that critical data out there. So I believe, okay, we're already on time. So that's it for my presentation. This is Olabisi, you can take over from here.
All right, thank you all for joining. Thank you very much, Seth, for coming.
Okay, thank you too.
Okay, so we'll be joining the curtain for today's section here. Tomorrow is another day. Sorry, somebody saying something. I'm hearing something. Okay.